Welcome back, everyone. This is B-Bell Dan, and we are building the Enterprise J in Blender. This is episode 12, and some of y'all that have been watching my videos pretty regularly are probably going, "What? What's this? He's doing a new episode after so long?" Yes, I am, and I apologize for that. My life has been pretty hectic pretty as of late, and so I've been kind of away, but I'm back even better than ever. I got a brand new computer, and if y'all been watching videos, y'all know I've been having major issues with performance problems trying to record and trying to get everything all working properly. But so far so good. Did a couple little test runs on this new computer, and everything's working fine. So we are ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and get set up for what we're going to be doing today. And while we're doing that, I'll explain a little bit what I've been doing on my little hiatus. Okay, yeah, I've been away for a while. Oh, there we go. And doing several different projects. I don't do, well, one thing, I do have a full-time job. This isn't my job as much as it would be probably nice to have this as my job. It's not. So I've been working on that, been really, really busy doing, um, just job type stuff. What can you say about that? But also I've have a lot of hobbies. Sometimes I think I might have more hobbies than I really, really probably should. I've been doing that. I've been doing a lot with woodworking, and I've actually had some people look at some of my woodworking stuff and say, hey, can you make this for me? Can you make this for me? And so I've been busy with that, and these have been, paying jobs. So I can't really tell them no. I want to do it. It's something I enjoy doing, so I've been doing it. It's money in the pocket, and but I haven't been completely away from Blender, and I even, believe it or not, haven't been completely away from the Enterprise J. Um, it's just in Blender I've been toying around with a lot of it. A couple of new versions have come out. We are in version 2.76, and I've been toying around with some of the new features there. But I've also been trying to toy around with some things on how to do certain stuff, because see, Enterprise J is for the most part going to be kind of a static model, but I am going to. I've been working on a major project of mine. This is kind of a um, what can I probably say? Kind of like an homage. Well, anyways, I'll just go ahead and say it. Y'all have ever watched movie Pacific Rim? You know those big old Jaegers inside there? Well, I'm constructing one of those also in Blender, but this is not going to be a static model. It's going to be, a model that can actually be moved around. It can move. It's animated, and drawing the individual. I'm actually caught myself moving my arms around in real time, thinking, "Oh, y'all can see this." No, y'all can't. But it's going to be, as arms move, you'll actually be able to see plates, move around and shift to, allow the things to fold in and the pistons move. So I've been toying around with a lot of stuff to try to get that, because if y'all have been on my channel, y'all also notice that I also do a lot of home movies, and me and my son, we're going to get together and we're going to kind of make one. It's kind of, you might say, probably paying homage to what Pacific Rim is, kind of our, so we're going to do that. So I've been working on that. Haven't I got a model, but it's not 100%. It's not even the finished Jaeger. It's mostly kind of an experimental model, kind of toying around so with the pistons and the mechanics and things. But yeah, I've been doing that. But anyways, enough of that. Let's go ahead and get to the Enterprise J. So once again, I have not been completely away from this. I have been coming in every once in a while working on it. Primarily what I've been doing off screen, because it would be a little bit boring to do on screen, is improve the edge loops. Still got a lot of work, and once again, I'm going to do that primarily off screen, but I've been improving the edge loops and on the model, mostly on the nacelles, because that's what we're going to be focusing on for the next couple of episodes, are the nacelles. Before, the edge loops, I was just extruding things and moving them around, and eventually the model started getting ugly, but I'm trying to make everything look a little bit smoother, look a little bit cleaner and nicer, because it makes it a lot easier when you, one, render it with smooth edges, and two, when you're, you know, adding in new edges and details and stuff like that. And eventually when we come in and start adding a little bit of hull plating and stuff, you want those to be nice and clean. So yeah, I've been working on that. And I've just also kind of been taking a step back from looking at it, trying to think, oh, well, let's see, what can I do here? What can I do there? What are some changes that I can make? Um, so, what can I, just sometimes you just need to kind of step away from something and just, come back to it with some fresh eyes to try to get some fresh ideas. And that's kind of what I've been doing. So, but yeah, as mentioned, we're going to be working on the nacelles. I'm going to be focusing on the nacelles for a while because I don't know. I just had to pick something. I decided to pick that. The saucer. It's going to be a real. It's a real big part of the mesh. So you look into it. People are going to be paying attention to that. So I want to really take my time with that. Same thing with the engineering hull and deflector dish. But nacelles, it's a small little. Now, don't get me wrong. Nacelles are important. There's a lot of details inside that. But whoops. Oh, what did I do? Probably did some of the shading. Oh well, yeah, I did some with the shading. Nope, that's not it. There you go. Ah, there we go. But I just, I can kind of, there. It's as far as details are concerned, it's a little bit more simplistic. So I'm just going to just toy around with this until I figure out exactly what I want to do, with the other models. So there we go. That's what I was looking for. All right. Um, so I'm just kind of filling these in real quick. Oh, wait, you know what? Those are, okay, I'm going to have to circle those off. I'll take care of that in a minute. Um, Also, another thing that I also kind of did is looking around on the internet. I was looking up a lot of pictures, a lot of reference pictures, trying to find as much as I can on the Enterprise J official pictures, not fan art. As you know, or for those of y'all that are new, if you don't know, I'm wanting to try to make this as close as I can to what is actually seen on screen, not what might be there or my interpretation of that. I may do that in a future video, but I want to try to replicate what is seen on screen, down to the T, to try to get this as, let me go into Edge Select to be a lot quicker. There we go. Um, what is seen on screen. Now, what's seen on screen is just a small little snippet. I mean, well, actually, technically, really, on screen, all you see is an interior of the ship with a small exterior, and you see the overlay. But there's been a couple of official released models, a couple official released pictures of the ship, mostly from the Ships of the Line calendar. Ew. Well, let me see. Nope, I don't want that. And okay, sorry about that. Got a little sidetracked there. There we go. On the Y. I know there's probably an easier way to do this, but oh well. But yeah, and I'm using those for references. But anyways, once again getting a little bit sidetracked here. What I did manage to find though was actually really interesting. Is I actually found a YouTube page. It was, I think it was Stuart. I'm sorry if I'm butchering his name, but Stuart Fawley. He has a web series called Trekyards, and in that episode, in one of his episodes, he actually speaks to none other than him and another guy actually speak to Doug Drexler, the guy that actually created the Enterprise J, and he, kind of does a little questioning and answers with them about, well, what led to the design of the Enterprise J, and you know, he gave his opinions on some of the ways on how it, how the Enterprise J works, and it was actually very interesting. I mean, hearing from him about the Enterprise J, and he gave a lot of, once again, it's his opinions of how the Enterprise J works and how it's designed and everything. I say it's his opinion. I mean, he designed it, but of course, sometimes things get overruled during production or they get overwritten. Like in my opinion, one example I always use is that he has a picture, and I might put the picture on the screen of the underside of the J. His underside of the J, especially in the saucer sections, look this way. But if you see the shot on screen when they're inside the ship and they're looking outside, the potential look of the saucer underneath looks completely different than what he has designed. So even though that the image was official because it's of his, it's actually of his, using his model, what is seen on screen actually kind of slightly overrides. It's all those theories of, what's canon and what's non-canon and everything. But all in all, he goes through, some remarkable explanations on how he believes the ship should probably work. And I mean, looking at that, that's kind of given me some ideas on which way I need to really go with this. Um, Especially in regards, he talks in great detail of about how this, whoops, let me about how this ties into this right here. A lot of people have has noticed it seems, like it's a very weak connection. It's very spindly little nacelles going into this, and it doesn't look like it's connected very well. And he pretty much said, yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, that's what he intended. He wanted to try to, how did he describe it? You want to try to go out of those, I think he called it ape brains or monkey brains or something, a way of thinking, because these people are so far into the future. There's some technology there that we can't even fathom. And so I've seen a lot of fan art where they try to beef up the area right here to make it to where it's a little bit more of a solid connection. Because one person described, well, the way this looks is everything going to warp, these are just going to fly right off and break off. But he mentions, once again, of a stronger type of, newer type of technology that was never invented before, is what he sees that they have on the Enterprise J. In fact, he even comments, I don't agree with this, but he would almost describe it as, if it was up to him, they wouldn't have the pylons. It would be kind of wirelessly connected like Bluetooth to the ship. And I know some of y'all are probably thinking, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Oh, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this down, because one thing I noticed that this is connecting into here. No, I want it to connect into there. So I'm moving this down. I'm going to have to do some adjustments to some things, but it's like right there. You know what? That actually looks, well, let me move it down just a little bit. You know what? I like that. I like it tying in like right there at the bottom. We'll keep it there. Let's look at the camera. Nope, wrong camera. Let me see. Give me a minute. Control numpad 0. Well, anyways, he was talking about how he would see it, and what he was talking about, Bluetooth. And that's really not that difficult. I mean, able to transfer energy wirelessly. I can see that being a possibility because, oh wait, the opacity is, there we go. We're a little bit off, but not by much. I'm happy with that. I could probably come back in and adjust some things a little bit later, but I need to fix that right there. That needs to be moved up. But anyways, we have phones right now that has where you can charge it wirelessly. You don't need to connect wires. You just lay it on a little device and it just starts charging the battery. And in fact, I read an article a while back ago about how where there were, oops, let me go ahead and minimize that. There were people, they did manage to quote unquote teleport, just like in Star Trek, a radio signal across a distance. Yeah, how did they prove that it was, you know, that it was teleported and it just didn't just, you know, fly across the air like radio signals do. I'm pretty sure they have their ways, or they wouldn't be making that type of claim. But you know, that's what they claim. So the technology is not actually that far off for that to be a possibility of what Doug Drexler was talking about. And it's still a very interesting idea, but just the idea of technology that they haven't come up with. Now, I'm not going to go with his explanation that they might be wirelessly Bluetooth together. I mean, there might be some different kinds of maybe power sources that is transferred along these spindly struts. Here's my theory. Agree with it, don't agree with it. It's just, once again, it's just a theory, and I'm not 100% sure if I want to kind of just, you know, oh, you know, I'm doing that too much. Because there's obviously some space. Darn it. Sorry. Trying to get used to some of these new controls. There we go. But the way I look at it is that the struts, they are there as kind of a backup. Their primary source of connection is actually through a force field. If you imagine or not a force field, but kind of like a tractor beam, force shield. This is actually connected to this, but it's not 100% strong, but the material that they're using is super dense. So, you know, tensile strength is, you know, astronomically, you know, unbelievable to today's standards. So it is thoroughly strong, but there's an actual, like a tractor beam or a force field that strengthens the bond, the connection here between this, and it stays on all the time. And a lot of the energy actually is indeed kind of transported back and forth between each other. So there's actually nothing going in between here and here. I'm actually almost making connection as to where energy will transfer from here into this section where you see the blue stripe coming out, the blue strips. Energy transfers from there, then teleports to this distance into here. Whatever energy needs to be transferred to make this work. And this right here is strictly just for a backup. So if this fails, then if the force field here fails, then what am I thinking? Oh yeah, if it fails, then well, you have something there to keep it on. But also they decide to switch that way because if something fails in the nacelle itself, then all they got to do is just press a button and they can eject it. And by this time, I mean, obviously, you know, warp technology is not the primary technology that they're using. It's kind of more of a, you know, more of a secondary, you know, technology that they kind of use, an alternate method of transporting. You know, they use, you know, another thing that Doug Drexler says is it's kind of a universal ship. It goes across into multiple universes, not just our own galaxy, other galaxies as well. So to transport from universe to universe, they use one type of drive technology, and then when they're in that universe that they need to transport, you know, within a solar system or within a small part of the galaxy, dense part of the galaxy, they, especially one that is kind of unknown, they can use their warp technology. So that's kind of what I'm going with. So with that, I'm going to be putting some extra details here, like some you know, force field emitters around here, or not necessarily force field, but maybe like tractor beams. I mean, even in the episodes that we've seen them actually go to warp with a ship in their in their tractor beam. So tractor beams obviously should be able to deal with the stresses at the time. Oh, yeah, I like that. We're gonna keep it that way. There's going to be some connections here, like a little greeble, you might probably say, right there, of kind of like a, you know, connection here and a connection here to where energy is passed wirelessly. In fact, I think it'd be kind of cool that if we did make this, it's like when they jump to warp, you can see a beam of light that just temporarily just, and then jumps into that, or the other way around, it jumps from here back to here. So you have that little connection there, you know, when they're going into warp. So I think that's I think that would look real good. So, all right, let's go to the camera. Let's see how this looks. Now, I'm going to go ahead and link to that episode that I'm telling you about. It says that Trekyards, they actually talk. Oh, wow. I think that looks real. Oh, yeah. All right. I'm happy with that. Once again, just a little bit of additional changes here. Maybe move that entire thing up. But yeah, that looks real. Yeah. I'm kind of happy with that. I mean, I'm sure I don't have the angles 100% accurate, but I'm for the most part happy with that. I can work with that. I'll make a few additional changes. Now, looks like there's a light right there. Yeah, okay. So we need to add in a light. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. So there's something that we've done during this episode. All right. So we go there. Now, when you're working on a picture, trying to line things up, you got to make sure that you are doing it from both perspectives. Yeah, see, so now somehow that changed. Let me see. Whoops, no. Top. Oops, see, it moved off of there. Yeah, it looks like the light's going to be right about there. Let's look over here. So as far as the nacelles are concerned, I'm going to keep it just like this. I know it's spindly, but just imagine what type of technology that they would probably have. I mean, this was, in the 26th century. I mean, imagine the jump in technology that they would have in that amount of time compared to what we have now between the time of Enterprise and the time of Enterprise from the time of the Enterprise D. I mean, technology is constantly progressing. I'm sure they must have come up with some sort of new technology where, once again, the tensile strength of the structure is absolutely tremendous. And plus, he also mentioned that he could see that the Enterprise E was something that it was grown as opposed to welded together or built. It was actually kind of grown. I mean, look at the muscles inside your body. I mean, you have these little small pieces of tendons that are, that hold your muscles to your bones. And, you know, look how much weight that they can support, even though they're very little and spindly. I mean, if they can grow something organic, then yeah, I could see how that could be a possibility, that there's some sort of technology there that we can't even fathom. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. So, I mean, give me your thoughts of what you probably think, but yeah, definitely go by and check out those videos. I'll put a link in the description. Y'all can check it out to see what y'all think about what he says, and you know, um, give your opinions on what you probably think. And I said he's the guy that actually, I mean, once again, that he designed it, and you could tell that when he designs things, he obviously really tries to think, outside of the box of what does this technology do here. Okay, there's the two lights. Okay. Let's see. One thing I really also need to do is you know what, just for the heck of it, let me do this. This is kind of bothering me. I don't know why it's bothering me, but it is. Um, nope, materials. Lights on, Starship Gray, Buzzard Scoop. Yeah, let's do a new material. I'm going to go ahead and do those. Oh, what are those called? Okay, pardon me, my brain just shut off on me. I knew what that part was called, that blue glowing part, but now for the life of me, I can't remember. Not Buzzard Scoop. Those the orange things, the Buzzard Scoop. Let's just call it vents for right now. Sorry, all you Hard Trek fans, I will change that. Don't worry, I'm not going to leave it like that. Eh, let's do that for right now. Intensity, um, tune, nah, tune, nah, let's do Orion there. Yeah, there we go. I like that. Yeah. And let's do Lambert. Translucency, emittance. Let's do it. Yeah, let's get it to emit just a little bit. And let's go ahead and do a little render. Well, there she is so far. So far, so good. I think that's starting to look pretty good. Yeah, just in case if you forgot, I am going to go ahead and make the decision to you do a majority of these windows here. As you see, these two windows here and here and here and here. Most of those windows are actually going to be in the actual texture when I do that. That's not going to be on the actual model of the ship. So, but yeah, all right. Let me go ahead and I want to try to finish this real quick before we leave because yeah, I see the time is almost up. Well, we need to kind of solidify these. Yeah, and I'm also going to try to put like some brake lines details in here, maybe in the texture, but once again, as I said, I can see it to where if this thing starts to overreact, overheat, and they need to ditch it real quick, they can just press a button and it, shoots right off and drifts off into space, harmlessly away. And I'm even thinking about for that and that same perspective, put some exterior booster or not booster but thrusters on separately on this, so when they eject it, it's like I can imagine the ship having the ability to where this is almost intelligent in itself to where if it sees, hey, I'm about ready to blow up, it tells the ship, hey, I'm about ready to blow up. The ship can get confirmation, hey, do we need to eject you? Yeah, we do. All right, eject, and it actually will pilot itself away from the ship so it explodes somewhere else. Um, Let me see. What am I doing? Okay. So, so yeah, and I'm just talking about this kind of mostly out loud, but also kind of let you know what I plan on doing because I need to start coming, because as I work on the nacelles, I really need to start thinking ahead of, you know, what does everything do? All the little details that I need to put in on this ship. No, I don't want you. And those two. And we'll put in some little details here, like there's going to be right here would be a good place for like a little thruster so it can move away. Um, Thrusters are going to probably be like another, yeah, like right here, this little part right here that sticks out like this. I'm kind of seeing it as to where not only does it help support this, because this really probably doesn't need that much support, but the thrusters, this thruster control inside here. It's a possibility that men could be working in here, so there might be a window or two or something, but this is where all the thrusters, so this can move. There's one more thruster on top, but these have thrusters here to turn it to left, right, move it forward, up and down. There'd be one other thruster here to move it to where it shoots that way to shoot it down, but all the other thrusters move in different directions, so I'm going to be doing that. Um, the other thing that he also said is, Doug Drexler said, is that he almost saw to where at this point in time, they minify the ship as much as possible, especially in the nacelles, to where it's just an engine floating out there. They don't have a whole lot of shrouds and everything there because one, it's such a secondary item to where it doesn't have to be that well protected. But two, they also have, once again, technology above and beyond what we could think about today to where it's pretty much is self-protected. Not making the ship indestructible, but, to where, it might have its own redundant force fields separate from the rest of the ship so little stuff like that. And those are things I'm going to be thinking of. Um, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call it an episode there. I'm pretty sure I've been on here for quite some time. Oh, I need to duplicate that over to that. Thought I had that in there. Modifier, yeah, it's in there. Why isn't it not mirroring it? Hmm. Oh, no, okay. No, it's not mirroring. All right, I'll have to fix that. I'll duplicate that to that when I'm done with it. But yeah, but I'm going to go ahead and cut the episode right there. Didn't get a whole lot done, but I'm going to take care of some stuff off screen. You know, I know I'm saying, and this is what I'm going to go ahead and do. I'm going to go ahead and be honest with y'all. I say I want to focus directly on this, but that's just not the way my mind works. I will focus on this when I'm on screen. But when I'm off screen, I'm going to be working on little bit pieces of the ship, a little bit here, a little bit there. Um, Mostly it's, once again, I'm trying to go through and fix the edge loops and fix a couple little issues. Like right here, we have some sort of lightning issue, which I'm sure is due to a mesh issue somewhere. So I'm going to try to fix that. Yeah, see those, that should be, you know, a lot smoother than what it is. And but some details I'm going to be working on strictly on screen. The nacelles is going to be a detail. The back portion where the shuttle bay is at is going to be is going to be the details I'm going to be working on screen. The deflector dish, the underside. Oh, the entire underside I'm going to be working on screen. So I'm going to be working on a lot of details on screen as well. But off screen, I'm going to be just working on everything. But then when I go on screen, I'm going to be focusing on one detail. But I will try to let y'all in on the details because some of y'all, I'm gathering, is watching this because y'all actually like to see kind of how my workflow is or how I'm building this, almost kind of a tutorial. But I think some of y'all are also looking at it because y'all like to kind of see what's my perspectives of how this all joins together, like where could certain little details possibly be hiding or what have you. So the thrusters, I might probably put one thruster on just to kind of toy around with the look of different thrusters. And once I get that one thruster on, I'll bring us back in and I'll put the other thrusters on and I'll explain to you, well, there's a thruster there, there's a thruster there, and that's why they're all there. So, but yeah, be looking forward to that. Um, and once again, yeah, go ahead and go to check out Stuart Foley's, I believe, Foley, and check out their web series, Trekyards. They go through a whole bunch of different ships, but I'm going to post the link to the one to the Enterprise J. They do have a two-parter, but they also have one where it's both parts all put together. So go check that out as well, especially if y'all are watching these episodes that I'm doing because y'all actually like the Enterprise J and y'all want to know more about it because he could tell you all about it. He answers quite a few questions and really kind of explains the ship. I mean, he does definitively say the ship is 2 miles long. The ship, they don't really, they use site to site transporters, or they might even have roads inside it so they can drive cars, if as a redundant feature, or if they don't want to transport, kind of like how some people walk, some people use segways or those new type of little devices. I can't think what they're called today. It's just personal preferences. So, but yeah, so once again, I'm going to go ahead and cut it off right here. I thank y'all for watching, and I'm going to go ahead and try to make a promise to y'all. I'm going to try to at least release, no, let's say two of the, nah. I'm going to try to release at least one video a week. I was going to say two. Let's start off with one just to make sure that I can keep with that promise. And if I don't have anything else planned, I might probably surprise y'all with a second episode, or at least a quick little update just to jump in and just show y'all some major changes that I've made. So we're going to look at that, but I'm definitely deciding I'm going to go ahead and continue sticking with this. So I just want to thank y'all all once again for all of y'all that are kind of watching. So, kind of looking back and seeing that, people are actually watching these videos, and, the counters do tick up every single week. That kind of, gives me a little bit of, a pause to, know that, well, there are people out there that are looking at my work and they are liking my work. So I really do appreciate it. And once again, feel free to please leave any kind of comments on or suggestions or any of your ideas. I'd love to hear from y'all to see what y'all probably think. Because once again, this is just my, ideas and interpretations of how the technology works, but only as far as what we've seen on screen. You know, don't, please don't, try to tell me, hey, well, you need to widen this up, because if it's not on the screen, if we don't see it on the screen, I'm not going to add it in. I'm not going to beef up the pylons. Sorry, but I'm not going to beef up the pylons because y'all don't think it should look that way. Doug Drexler designed it that way. That's the way it showed up on screen. That's the way I'm going to try to keep it. So, once again, but thank y'all very much for watching, and hopefully I should have another video up next week, even though it's going to be, uh, you know, Thanksgiving for me, depending on what time you watch this. It probably won't be Thanksgiving, but I'll try to have another episode up, and we'll try to do one episode per week. So thank you for watching.